Hallo Doxa Deo Helderberg kids. Ek wil u eers vra, voor ons indelf in vandag se storie, gaan like en share hierdie video, want dan kan al jou vriende en familie en selfs mense wat jy nie ken nie, hierdie storie saam met jou geniet en jy kry die woord daar buite. En dan laastens, druk asseblief daai rooi knoppie, ons noem dit die subscribe knoppie, en dit beteken as jy ooit gewonder het, dat jy nooit weer 'n video van ons gaan mis nie. Dit gaan so maklik net daarop pop en jy kan ons video kyk. Maar nou wil ek julle eens vra, weet julle waaroor gaan vandag se les? Dit gaan oor Paasfees. Nou, ek het hierso my aksiebybel oop by die Paasfees tyd. Dit gaan oor die kruisiging en opstanding. Het julle dit geweet? Die kruisiging, weet ons, het almal gebeur op 'n Vrydag. Dis hoekom ons dit noem Goeie Vrydag. Nou ek weet, dit is 'n hartseer storie waar Jesus doodgegaan het, maar onthou, hy het doodgegaan sodat ons sondes kan vergewe wees en ons weer in 'n verhouding staan met God. Maar die beste deel is, op die 3de dag het Jesus opgestaan uit die dood uit en ons lewe saam met die Here. Daarom gaan ons en ons vertel mense van hierdie goeie nuus. Jesus het vir jou dood gegaan en hy is opgewek uit die dood uit, sodat ons weer verhouding kan hê met hom. Julle, dit is hoekom ons vra om te like en te share, sodat almal van hierdie goeie nuus kan hoor, sodat die wêreld daarvan kan hoor, sodat mense Jesus kan leer ken. Dit maak my so opgewonde, want dit is hoekom ons glo wat ons glo. Maar maats, nou wil ek jy sê, ons moet 'n lekker liedjie saam sing, en dan gaan ons 'n lekker video kyk van Bible Project, wat dit mooi vir ons verduidelik.
Shout your praise and walk away and forget your name. I stand for you if that's all I do, 'cause there is none that compares to you. 'Cause all I want in this lifetime is you, and all I want in this whole world is you, you, you. Tell the world that Jesus lives. Tell the world that, tell the world that, tell the world that he died for them. Tell the world that he lives again. No longer I, but Christ in me. It's the truth that sets me free. How could this world be a better place? But by thy mercy, by thy grace. 'Cause all I want in this lifetime is you, and all I want in this whole world is you, you, you. Everybody now! Tell the world that Jesus lives. Tell the world that, tell the world that, tell the world that he died for them. Tell the world that he lives again. Tell the world that Jesus lives. Tell the world that, tell the world
was a religious leader named Joseph who opposed Jesus' execution and then requested to be given his body so he could bury Jesus in a nearby tomb.
And then, a couple of days later, some women who had followed Jesus came to visit that tomb, and they found it open and empty, and they encountered these mysterious figures telling them Jesus was alive from the dead. So they run away terrified. Nobody believes their report. I mean, he can't be alive. They all saw him die.
Now, just outside of Jerusalem, a pair of Jesus' followers were leaving the city, traveling on a road to a town called Emmaus, and they were sad and confused about everything that had happened.
Then Jesus shows up, walking alongside them, but they don't know it's him.
Yeah, that's weird. Why couldn't they recognize him?
Yeah, it's an odd but really significant image for Luke. They're blind to Jesus for some reason, so Jesus asks them, "What are you guys talking about?"
And they begin to tell him about Jesus, a powerful prophet who they expected would rescue Israel, but was instead executed. Some women say he's alive, which is crazy. It's all too much. We're going home.
So Jesus tries to explain that this is what the Jewish scriptures had been pointing to all along, that Israel needed a king who would suffer and die as a rebel on behalf of those who actually are rebels. And then he would be vindicated by his resurrection so he could give true life to those who would receive it.
But it's still not making sense. They're as confused as ever.
Which leads to the scene where they sit down for a meal with Jesus. He takes the bread, he blesses it, breaks it, and gives it to them, just as he did at the Last Supper.
Yeah, this is the image of his broken body, his death on the cross.
And it's when they take in the broken bread, that's when their eyes are open to see Jesus. Then he disappears, and the episode's over.
So this is a story about how it's hard to see Jesus for who he really is.
Yes, this is brilliant. I mean, how could God's royal power and love be revealed through this man's shameful execution? How could a humble man become the king of the world through weakness and self-sacrifice? It's very hard to see. But this is the message of the Gospel of Luke. It takes a transformation of your imagination to see it and embrace Jesus' upside-down kingdom.
The Gospel of Luke ends with Jesus and all of his disciples together over another meal. And everyone's freaking out about his resurrected body. I mean, he's still a human, but way more.
Yes, he's passed through death and come out the other side, a walking, talking piece of new creation. And then Jesus tells them that he's going to give them the same divine power that sustained him, so they can go out and share the good news of God's kingdom with other people.
After this, Luke tells us that Jesus was taken up into heaven, which is a cool exit and all, but why disappear into the sky?
So in the Old Testament, the skies are the place of God's throne. They're above everything. So this is Luke's way of showing that Jesus has been enthroned as the divine king of the whole world.
His followers stay in Jerusalem, worshiping God and Jesus, waiting for this new power, and this is where the gospel ends.
Now, Luke is going to write about how they receive this power and take the news out into the world, and that's what his second volume, the book of Acts, is all about.